for millions of women, it's a silent battle that happens every single night. The sudden, frustrating inability to get a good night's sleep. It's a classic sign of menopause, but for way too long, it's been kind of dismissed or just misunderstood. Well, that is finally changing. We are about to dive into the incredible new science that's showing us exactly why sleep gets so messed up during menopause, and the really promising solutions that are just around the corner. So here's our game plan. First, we'll get a handle on just how huge this issue is. It's a real global wake-up call. Then, we're going to bust some myths and look at the actual science of what's going on in the brain. We'll see how all this creates a massive ripple effect in everyday life, and then the good stuff, the exciting new solutions being tested right now. And finally, we'll peek into the future of this research. All right, first up, a global wake-up call. We're moving past the "I know someone who" stories to see the hard data on just how widespread this really is. And the numbers, they're pretty staggering. A huge review looking at a decade of research found that 55%, yeah, that's more than half of all women in perimenopause and postmenopause, are struggling with sleep. This isn't some small, niche problem. For a majority of women, this is reality. And this is absolutely a worldwide issue. Just look at these numbers from different continents. In Asia, it's as high as 73%. This proves this isn't just one country's health concern. It's a global priority that really demands our attention. Okay, next we have to talk about a major misconception. For decades, anytime you heard about menopause, the conversation was all about one thing: hot flashes. But it turns out, new research shows that's not even close to the full story. You know, this quote from Dr. Mary Hedges at the Mayo Clinic really hits the nail on the head. Even the experts are realizing that these massive new studies are showing us a picture of perimenopause that is way more complex than anyone thought. And this is the kicker right here. A giant global study found that things like fatigue and sleep problems are actually reported more often than hot flashes. This data really forces us to completely rethink what the main challenges of this life stage actually are. So that brings us to the science of it all. If it's not just hot flashes waking women up, what is actually going on inside the body and the brain that's causing this much disruption to our sleep? Well, the latest science points straight to the brain. A really landmark study from the University of Cambridge actually found structural changes. They saw reductions in gray matter in really critical brain areas. We're talking about the zones that handle memory, process sensory info, and regulate our emotions. This gives us a physical reason for the symptoms so many women feel. Think of it like a biological chain reaction. First, estrogen levels drop. This messes with the hypothalamus. That's your body's thermostat, which then throws your internal sleep signals out of whack. The direct result? Your sleep gets all fragmented, chopping up that deep, restorative sleep you need. And the final step in that chain? Chronic sleep deprivation starts to mess with your prefrontal cortex, leading to that feeling we call brain fog. So, we've got the biology down. But let's connect it to the real world. Because this isn't just happening in a textbook. It has a huge, profound ripple effect on everyday life. Get this, an incredible 83% of women dealing with these sleep problems say it has negatively impacted them at work. This makes it a huge workplace issue, an economic issue that affects this massive experienced part of the workforce. And the domino effect just keeps going. The data shows a clear link between bad sleep and a huge drop in quality of life scores. The risk for depression can shoot up by more than 11 times, and it's even connected to feeling more physical pain. The impact is severe, and it's across the board. But this is where the story turns. It's not all doom and gloom, because we're shifting from the problem to the solution. Researchers are now actively testing new treatments designed specifically for this. This quote from Dr. Kelly Barron, who's a leading researcher on a new national study, just perfectly captures why this is so important. For so long, these concerns were just overlooked, but not anymore. Now, they're the main focus of major clinical trials. So what are they actually testing? Well, they're comparing 3 really different approaches. There's CBTI, which is a therapy that helps you restructure your sleep habits. Then there's trazodone, an existing medication being used in a new way. And finally, daridorexant, a newer drug that literally blocks the wake-up signals in your brain. The goal here is to find personalized solutions, to figure out what works best for different people. All of this amazing work brings us to our last section. What's next? What does the future hold for this absolutely vital area of women's health? The main thing to take away here is that the momentum is real. The science is moving faster than ever, treatments are getting better, and people are finally talking about it. To keep this going, the field needs more investment and, just as importantly, more dedicated experts. And that, honestly, is the most exciting part. This isn't some abstract idea or something that might happen a decade from now. This life-changing research is happening right now in labs and universities all over the world. For anyone who's curious and wants to follow these developments, resources like academicjobs.com are actually a fantastic window into the world of university research. It's a way to see where the next breakthroughs are taking place and to keep up with the science as it's happening. Which really leaves us with one final thought to ponder. As science and medicine finally give this the serious attention it has deserved for so long, just imagine, what could a consistent good night's sleep unlock for the health, the productivity, and the well-being of millions of women across the globe? The potential is just immense.